What did we forget this week? I don't know. But we should be good. We're back. We have a Mercedes e350. We're going to be doing 20% all the way around. And I need your help again because I need to do a windshield strip and I don't want to forget it. So as long as we keep reminding me periodically, I'll definitely 100% not forget, right? Smile. How y'all doing? I got to send the link. So there it is. So I got to send the link to the client. Civic ceramic 20% window. Did I not update titles? That's what I forgot. At least it's right for YouTube. Never fails. Update all. I wonder if I can go on Facebook and update this one. Oh, I forgot. I gotta go get a clay bar really quick too. So let me go, or maybe we'll open a new one. I don't know. Do I have new ones to open? Mark, this stupid sales format. I don't know why it always does this. And then we can edit. If I list a car on, like a live stream, if I put a live stream on my Facebook group and there's a car in the description or something, it totally changes it. It changes it to a sales format where it thinks I'm trying to sell it, which would be incredibly profitable, not having to buy customer vehicles and then sell them back. But I mean, that's not what we do here, Facebook. So, pin to featured. All right, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, where's my windows? Good morning. Was watching videos when you were in the glass shop all night. Yeah, I spent quite a few years there. Not full time, but definitely a handful of days a week. Worked with them for a long time. I think they're still looking for a window tinter. Good people over there. So, I was really appreciative to them about being able to do live streams out of that shop. They worked with me quite a bit, and that was pretty rare. The whole reason I even have this place is literally so I can do live streams. I mean, I like doing good jobs, obviously, but that's kind of the whole thing. I wanted to also be able to share it, and the only way I tried doing that anywhere that I worked, and it never worked out that way. So being able to have this place, now we can slow down, we can put more work into a car, and then we can actually take time to stream it, like today. So, like I said, we're going to be doing 20% all the way around with a 5% strip on the front that you guys have to remind me about because sometimes I forget those if I'm not reminded, but I'm much better about it now than I used to be. So when you're just moving through the day, you're putting out a handful of cars, and then all of a sudden you just oh yeah, that was supposed to have a strip. How often you going to use the plotter? Not super often. So we're going to use it for stuff like back windows, quarters, here and there. But I from what I've played around with already, I'm a little bit more familiar with how patterns line up. It's just kind of it's a crapshoot. Some of them look really, really good. Some of them aren't quite there. And hand cut is always 100%. And you know what you're going to get, and it's more accurate. So it's for whatever type of business that you're doing. If you're more high production and volume, a plotter is an invaluable machine to your business. It'll help out a lot. But you can still hand cut similar volume. It's just more work. So it's a little harder to scale. Feels like fall this morning. Oh yeah, it's super gray. The weather turned real quick. The past few days were actually a little nicer than I thought they would be. But yeah, fall, drastic difference. As soon as the official day of fall came, it was way different. They're always like a 1/4 inch too short, and top edge sucks because of that. Yeah. I mean, so I did front doors. They lined up great. And then I did back doors, and then they were like that 1/4 inch short, and you're like, what the heck? And then you do the quarter windows, and they line up perfectly, and the back glass, and it lines up perfectly. So you're just like, and then you go do another car. I did like a Jeep Wrangler, and then the top corner was just like, meh. We use TrueCut. I like TrueCut. Do you use SunTech then? Because so one of the shops that I tinted for, they used TrueCut, and they were one of the ones I liked more than others. But the problem with TrueCut was, like, I think they yoinked that software back because we weren't using SunTech. I gotta fix my headphones. This is driving me crazy. I gotta put this back on the thing because it's like, yeah, I can't hardly hear myself. Have you ever done the rear windshield of Mercedes E-Class Coupe? Yeah. When you get into the coupes, some of them are fine, and some of the Mercedes ones are a big pain. I haven't done a lot of the coupes, but some of them have been a big problem. This is way more straightforward than a coupe. We use SunTech. Makes sense then, because we were using TrueCut. And then after a year, they like yoinked it back. And they're like, you don't use our film. And they're like, but we like the software. And they're like, sorry. So that's, again, another one that I couldn't really recommend because, like, hey, sorry. All right, so we're going to put this crazy thing on. We're going to get to it. We got some work ahead of us. I don't want to sit here and drab too long. Not until the job's done, at least. What's up? Oh, okay. That froze. 1 second. This is going to... There we go. Yay! So everything should be good. That's the game. Dude, it's so annoying. I just, like... That's why you guys hear me rant about software so much, is like you got some that are dealing with so many like of those stupid little problems with like company politics, and then you got other third-party software that's available to so many, but then they just don't get their patterns quite right. So it's like, it's weird. I would think with like a more restrictive user base, the patterns would be worse, but I mean, if they want to put some real effort into quality control, so plotter software, go figure. Thinking about going on an 11-hour trip to get my car tinted. Oh my God, that would be quite the journey. Okay, so let me just tell you the major problem with driving all the way to get your car tinted. I would do as good of a job as I possibly can. But if there's ever a problem, you'd have to drive that back to get it fixed. But I definitely appreciate that. I would do as well of a job as I could. I would hate if like you got back and then it's like a window peeled. Oh no, I can't take care of it. So just keep that in mind. I'd be driving around on the highway and see cars like, damn, how you driving with all that? Yeah, I came across one yesterday. It was pretty brutal looking, but I don't know. I don't wash my car that often, so everybody's got priorities. My company is sending me San Antonio for XPEL training on Sunday. How is that stuff? XPEL is a great product. Yeah, their training class is very popular. I think it's like, or at least it used to be. I don't know what it is now. It was like 1,000 for like 5 days, which is very competitive, but their whole thing is like they want to sell you film. So that's just kind of like gravy on top of it. Their program, from what I understand, at least at the time, was more about, like they'd use a plotter a lot more than hand cutting. And I understand why you would do that in like a class, but if you want to learn hand cutting, then just definitely, I definitely let them know. Maybe some people didn't speak up or whatever. I'm sure they'd teach it too as well, but, or I'm sure it's like in their class, but you know, they have their software. They want you to be in like the whole Expel program, so they'll definitely teach you all their systems. But they actually have good patterns, good stuff. Have fun. I'm watching 2 streams right now, you and Sun Distributing. Dude, I was setting up the stream and I saw they were doing an early morning one. I was like, really? I want to watch it. I love he looks like he's starting to embrace just like, he's just figuring out casual streaming. That's super cool. Because he's just like hanging out by the bay door, having a smoke, and just like, just talking to people, just talking to tinters like you would talk to any other tinter if you were there in person. That's 100% what it's like when you visit there. If you hang out with Rick for a little bit, that's exactly what it was like. So I think that's incredibly cool, because when you're streaming like your business and stuff, you being authentic and like it's just, that's what you aspire to do. It's really fun. It's just like if you can just like turn on the camera and just like have a good time. That was really it was really cool. It was really fun to see. So, unfortunately, I have my own stream to run though. But yeah, he's got a wealth of knowledge, and he's more than happy to talk about anything and everything tint related. What tape are you using? This is called tuck tape. It's about the best solution that we've found. It does stay on really well. It's about the only thing that seems to stick to every door panel. That and like basically just like house wrap tape. So they always, like, so many panels. Like, you see me put the plastic cover over. Hey! Woo!
JMFTV super chatted $10. Just wanted to say thank you for getting me back into tint after about 8 years off. Placed an order from my tint stuff yesterday at 1:53, had shipping info in 9 minutes. You guys are on the ball.
Okay. Special shout out to you. Thank you for the order. I'm going to just be totally upfront. You ordered at the perfect time then, if you got shipping info that fast. We do try and get stuff out, like, by next day. It's just, you caught the orders at a perfect time. Thank you so much for the 10. That's really cool to hear that you're getting back into it and stuff. It's good. I mean, it's a fun hobby. It's a good career. There's times when it's stressful and you want to pull your hair out, but there's also like, I don't know. I found it really, really nice when you can kind of slow down, take your time. But things have to kind of go a certain way too for it to be relaxing. I've had days where it's just like I had time and then I feel like a schlub trying to tint some of these cars. It's just like silly little things happen, like a random little hair or something like that floats into it, and you're just like, wow, I put all this time and care into it, and I can't seem to get this right. That happens to everybody. Anyways, thank you for the 10. JMFPV. I appreciate that a bunch. Ooh, followed up with another one. Pablo! It always takes a second.
Pablo super chatted $2.34.
$2.34 or €2 for those of you that don't know that one. Pablo, thank you so much for the 2. I really appreciate that. How you doing? How many cars would you say a roll of tuck tape will last you? Ooh, I don't even know. Because I used more than probably what most people are going to do because I put it on that top sill. But this is like 2.5 feet, another foot-ish here, another foot-ish there. Multiply that by 4 doors. And then look at what the roll is. You should have enough numbers there to figure it out. I can't calculate it off the top of my head because I'm terrible at math that way. But work a calculator and let me know. Do you have a lapel mic? I do. I have a lapel mic on my headset. So I got the Rode. I put the Rode Wireless Go on my GoPro setup because it's a better microphone. And it works out better that way. So I had an interesting problem when I have that like mic, which is called the wave mic by Elgato. That's by the computer. That came with the handy little piece of software that helped a lot with separating my audio sources because I have all you guys on text-to-speech, so I can hear comments as I'm working. That's so I don't have to keep turning my head and looking at a computer, even though I still do that. But that software is like a little funny. So I have this scene and I have other scenes. So I need a mic when I'm walking around. And then I have the mic by the computer, which I don't necessarily need, but it came with that software. So I then use that and just kind of switch back and forth between the two. Lovely car. Oh, I'm sure they appreciate that. We're going to hopefully do it justice. So like little things, people are asking about the tape. We're using tuck tape. We're going to cover all the doors with plastic just to help keep water off of running down the panels. This is a little thing called Glass Aid. This helps protect the glass for when I'm cutting it, for when I'm cutting out the film. So white line is really handy because all the time that I'm spending putting this on, I want to make up that time. So it's white, which is cool. It helps in other ways that I really didn't think it would. And then it's thick, so it helps keep the blade off the glass. Especially when you're streaming. I mean, it's one of those things. It goes in the magical shop, the magical door's closed, out comes a magical clean tint job. But when you're streaming all this, all the magic is out in the open. Like there is no more magic anymore. It goes through the magical doors and then it's just however the job goes is however it goes. But at the end of it, what we hope for is a very nice, clean job that we worked really hard to do. So this is what happens behind the scenes at a lot of places. Love the gear, good stuff. Thank you. I appreciate that. I love talking about the stream stuff more so than, there's probably more people watching to learn tinting, but I'm a big tech geek. So I worked really, really hard trying to figure out how to make this like seamless. So I had to, whoa! Thank you. Jose, welcome back.
Jose78 Rios super chatted
This is how the sausage is
$9.99.
Sorry.
Good morning to everyone. How everyone doing on Friday? Matt, looks like you have fun Friday.
Thank you, Jose, so much for the 10. He's always in here throwing good vibes into the community. I much appreciate it. How's everybody doing? Looks like you have a fun Friday. He had very good timing too. Yeah. Today looks like it's gonna be a fun day. So we have a windshield strip to do, so I'm not gonna do anything about that until the rest of the car is done. It's just kind of habit. I do the rest of the car and then I do the windshield strip. So we'll still tape and do that. I guess I need to find a key. Where did I put that? Oh, I got this thing. For my keys. I got an Apple tag, which is, I kept misplacing my own keys, and I probably should get one for customer keys as well. Because, oh my God, I'm constantly misplacing those, and for like stupid reasons too. So now I can just do, hey Siri, find my keys.
Looking for Matt's keys.
And then over there, it's gonna beep. At least it should. Sorry, I'm getting
It's nearby. Pinging Matt's keys.
so helpful. I almost now want to get that for customer keys, just because there's those times where, I'm running around, I'm doing my thing, I misplace it, like it's here, but like, did it fall in between the seat? Did I set it over there? Did I set it over there? It just saved that much more time. They have other similar things that just dove back into the world of Apple, so having fun with some of the little things like that. All right, we're gonna close that door, and then we're gonna roll up the rest of the windows. What was it? Somebody said this is how the sausage is made. Yeah, like chicken nuggets, behind the scenes, all that stuff. It's like, this is how it's done. Oh, you know what? Oh, do I have them? Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I do. Okay, we're gonna use a new one. Forgot. Just recently got into tinting, and I'm having trouble with the shrinking part. Still getting fingers and bubbles after I install. Any tips? You gotta keep shrinking it. It's gotta lay flat. After you're done shrinking it on the outside, does it all lay flat on the glass? Because that's number one. Is it duct tape from Amazon good enough because it's 13? And I see one by Uline for 91. I don't know if that was a typo, but definitely don't use duct tape. This is one of those product things where like people ask me a lot, and I say tuck tape, but it sounds like duct tape. So make sure it looks like this, and it'll say tuck tape all over it, not duct tape. It was a typo? Okay, good. Duct tape would be terrible. Yes, so it's actually from a Canadian distributor. So the only place you can buy it in the US seems to be Amazon. And yeah, it's 13 off of Amazon. So you can get it there. That's really it. The other option that I found works really well is like house wrap tape, which is essentially what this is. So there's like Tyvek. Tyvek's a brand that people say work well. Lowe's has their own house wrap tape that's a little cheaper, a little different, but it's similar enough. Works well. Any one of those, you'll be great. Speaking of shrinking, when you snap shrink, how far are you pulling the film? How far are you pulling the film? Oh, we can talk about shrinking a little bit more when we get to the back window. It's not much though. You're only lifting it a little bit off of the glass. Basically, you're putting enough tension to get the whole thing to kind of like lift off the glass. So you have a nice even surface to shrink the film. You're just trying to get it off the glass. There'll be peaks and valleys if you shrink a window normally, and pull shrinking basically evens it all out, so you're shrinking in an even playing field, if that makes sense. All right, now this thing is all clean. We just added some new spray. We're doing 20%. Let's get to the fun part. This is I think a brand new roll. Haven't seen anybody ask if you're using the plotter. Oh, it's been asked already. Not today. I have a better understanding of kind of what I'm dealing with, and it did really well on some quarter windows I did the other day. And then on doors, I want to rely on it a little bit more, and I just can't. It's like there's parts that are acceptable enough, and they're okay. So if you go in the Facebook groups, somebody posted a bad pattern in the Facebook groups, and it was so controversial. It was like, oh, you're cutting them wrong, or oh, you got to learn how to use your software, or oh, you got to do this, or oh, you got to do that. And it's like, dude, software legitimately has bad patterns, and it's a pain in the ass to fix all of them. Not all of them are bad, but some of them are. And there's usually like little tweaks and stuff, but it's one of those things where it's like you don't know until it's on the car, so you have to kind of commit a lot of energy and effort into tweaking whatever software that you want to stick with. And it just kind of sucks. You're paying $150 or whatever a month for software, and it's like, and it's only helping you so much. So that part of it, just the sheer excuses for them, kind of drive me a little crazy. How are you double cutting for both sides of the window? I use Geo as well. I'm learning a hand cut. I use a Sharpie to make my markings. I'm not comfortable with cutting in the car. I single cut for a very long time before I started double cutting. That was mostly just because I didn't even think to double cut necessarily. I was taught, actually that's a good question. I think maybe I was taught to double cut, but I didn't like wasting film so much, so I single cut a lot of stuff until I got a lot more comfortable with just getting a pattern out. And then after you do that, cutting two patterns out together is really not that bad. It's double the material, so all it is thicker. So you just got to get used to it. And you'll mess up some film, and every once in a while, we mess up a cut, and we destroy two patterns, and that sucks, but that's just part of it. The amount of time that it saves you is way more valuable than messing up some patterns. Although you can put like a tangible amount on what you scrapped, but it's harder to put a tangible amount on your time wasted on that. It doesn't feel as bad because, oh, I only spent a few more minutes cutting it. And for some people, it's like, that's just what you're going to do. You feel more comfortable single cut, that's fine. But if you really want to save some time, it's like one of the easiest things that you can do to help speed up your overall time on a car. You can only get done so many in a day. And when I went from working at my dad's shop again to doing like mobile, I just started single cutting. And then I'd look at the time. I was used to working with a plotter, and we'd put it out. We'd do as best as we could with the patterns that we got. But that was very much the norm. You learn other things doing that. But when I went out and did mobile work, and then all of a sudden I'm tinting in places that don't even have tables, let alone glass boards or whatever, not even enough space to always open up the car doors all the way without hitting into like a metal cage or something. It was, I don't know, you learn a lot. And then double cutting, you look at your time and you're just like, what? I took 2+ hours to do that car, and I have how many more cars? This isn't gonna work. And then so I try and do it faster. And then I try and do it as fast as I could, and I'm like, this still isn't gonna work. And then immediately switch to double cutting, and I'm like, okay, there we go, that's a little better. I never gave double cutting a thought. It feels so dumb when I see you doing it. Oh, dude, can't even tell you how many things. It's like I'm right there with you on so many things. I didn't teach myself a lot of this. I watch other people and I adopt things. There's a handful of little things I think I figured out on my own, but really it's like I see what this person does, see what that person does, see what that person does. I watch a lot of people, and that goes with like anything I get into. I watch a lot of people, and I try and just be really objective on what I feel like works best, and then adopt those things into what I do. Because it's like the job, it doesn't matter. Like the job doesn't care. Your customers, they want a good quality job, and I'd argue most of them want a reasonable time frame here. They don't need it done some people want it done in an hour, but I mean, more often than not, people want a good job on top of it. So if it takes a little longer to do, then whatever. But figuring out the best quality work that you can do with some efficiency, because you have you only have so much time in a day. It's really important. Do I lay the film opposite since the two doors are different? Yes, 100%. Or else what you did is you cut two of the same window, which I've absolutely done before by mistake. Matt makes double cut looking so easy, but there's definitely a learning curve. Yeah, what you're seeing is years of practice condensed down into like this moment. I've been tinting for like 13 years. So sometimes it just doesn't even work out very well, and it's like, whoa, has he tinted before? Yeah, none of this is easy to learn. It all has a big learning curve in the beginning, but this is kind of like when, at least, what you can get to and more. There's people that tint plenty faster than I do. I got a phone call before I went live. We might be getting a minivan very soon. I guess that'll be another thing. It is the Gorilla Glass not melt when the sun's heat is on it. Gets so referring to I had a post in my Facebook group. I couldn't believe I ran across one in the wild. A gorilla in the wild. Good God. So I did a Jeep the other day, And many of you know that I tinted for a glass company. And so I kind of just, like, it's really helpful when you work at random places because you learn different things that you wouldn't have even thought of. So they had happened to work with a company that was developing Gorilla Glass, or like an automotive portion that was working with Corning or something. They were using them, like, you know, they'd give it to glass shops, they'd ask their opinions, they'd tell them about the product and want feedback and stuff like that. So the glass shop, I learned quite a bit about Gorilla Glass. It's just very touchy. So it'll be okay in the sun's heat because they at least thought that far. But a heat gun gets upwards of, I don't know, 1,000 degrees. Like, heat guns get really, really hot. Do they get that hot? No, not that. 1,000 watts, sorry. They get very hot, though, much hotter than just sitting outside. So you can absolutely screw up a windshield with too much heat, but with Gorilla Glass, for whatever reason, the laminate is way more sensitive, so it only takes a little bit of too much heat, and then it'll cook the laminate in a crazy way. So be very, very careful when you're using heat on one like that, unless you have a spare one to practice on. And then people are like, "Ooh, it was a Jeep. You don't need any heat for that one." And it's like, it's not the point. It's not the point.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Shut up, Siri. I didn't get that. Wow, but thanks. So yeah, be careful out there. It's just kind of funny because, like, I assume the guy knew, but he had no idea. He just bought a Jeep, and they had Gorilla Glass on it. And so I gave him a phone call. Would you? No, stop it. Go away. Go away, Siri. So he had no idea that he had it on the car, and he had no idea what it was worth either. I was like, I told him once I tint it, if I do a removal, there's a good chance that the glass would get damaged if it has to be removed in the future. And he's like, yeah, sure, no problem. I was like, okay. Then when he came to pick up the car, he started asking more questions about it. I was like, yeah, it's like $1,000 windshield. And he's like, oh, okay. Serious tweaking. Yeah, tell me about it. Two cars this stream? No. No. We stick to one car. It gets to be too much. I've done it. Some of the glass shop days, I tried to stream literally like half a day or more at the shop. They think you have it as a Civic? Yeah, there's a problem with some titles. Although the YouTube one should be right. I tried to update it. Whenever I'm going live, there's like 50 little things to do. I have to connect my headphones to the computer. I have to make sure my audio searches are going to the right places. I have to set up a thumbnail, a title, a description. I have to take a picture. I have to upload it. I have to open up the Restream chat. I have to open up Lumia Stream for the effects. And a handful of other little things too. And then I have to get ready for the car. So I get most of those things, and I'm usually pretty good. But lately I've been like one or two little things. It's always like, did I do this? Did I do that? I think so. And then I go live and I'm like, ah, shoot, I forgot to do this other thing. So like I filled up my spray tank, and then I was washing clay bars, but I forgot those are in the back sink right now. So I just gotta just open up a new one or whatever. You were having a coffee and we were having a beer in Holland. That's cool. Cheers, man. How do you know when tinting the side windows, do you heat shrink or not? My rule is just always shrink them. There's people that will say that they don't, and there was a really good question in my group the other day. He like pointed at a finger in his window and like pressed it down and it popped back up. And it was like, how do you know when to shrink a door window or not? And the thing is, you'll see a lot of mixed opinions about it because they tint differently than I do. So some people will remove the sweeps or the bottom seals on a lot of cars. And if you do that, you can kind of, you have less stuff working against you. So one of the big reasons fingers pop up anyways is because there's water that hangs out along the bottom seal. So when you push it all down, the water kind of seeps back, and it's enough to get it on that bottom edge and then cause it to lift. So it's not completely stuck. That's why it needs a little time to dry. But if you pull that seal, the water just has a much easier time of drying out very quickly. So you can squeegee everything evenly, and that's usually enough to get everything to lay down without shrinking it. So if you're not doing that, you're just creating problems for yourself. But the way I look at it is kind of the risk to reward. So for some people, they don't like shrinking, and it's not a big deal for them to just have a little finger pop up, heat shrink it, and then move about their day. If it always took them 15 minutes to touch it up, they'd probably be shrinking the door windows before they install them. So you see me shrink every door window. That's because I don't like to pull the vehicle apart when I go to tint it, and it helps prevent that problem. So just shrink everything. Because if I have a finger that pops up, it depends on how big it is. Usually if you don't pull the sweeps, they'll be bigger. But, you know, I don't want to sit there for 15 minutes. I said this in my group too. 15 seconds in shrinking can save you 15 minutes or more in touch-ups. It's a good way to look at it. What recommendations for reducing contamination? Well, a big part of it is really just your install. You can do all the same steps that I'm doing and still put out a dirty window. You feel like you clean the whole thing, but if you have a messy installation, you'll have a messy window. It's as simple as that. It's just, you don't want to create vacuums. So you squeegee everything off the window, you scrape it, you scrub it, or do whatever your cleaning regimen is. You push everything to one side, you sweep it off the window, and then I can still have a dirty window. Why? Well, there's always dirt in the corners and the edges, no matter what. It's like, no matter how much you clean it, they'll always find some way to pull trash in. So you want to try and not give it a chance to ever seep back into your window. So we're going to sweep this off one more time. And then these are actually a little on the tight side. A little surprised, Mercedes. But it'll be all right. So spray that. Get your pattern ready. And then peel a corner. keep the liner close to the film because you're not trying to yank the tint off the glass. You just want to keep that very close, and that keeps all the film on the glass so you can peel the liner to a spot, lift your film, and then I don't have, judging by how tight this seal is, I don't think I got a lot of time to show this close, but see how this is laying flat against the glass? That's the main thing right there. So that way, when we're tucking it into the side seal, it's not rolling or bunching. See, it rolled back a little in that corner. Wiggle it up and down a little bit, get it to lay flat. If your window is all bunched up, you're not going to be able to finesse it into the side seals. So that is the biggest thing for a clean installation, I think, is like if you get the first part to lay nice and smooth and you didn't have much problem, the rest of it should go really easily, or like should go much better. So that was nice. So then we'll check it on the outside. Covered, covered, yay. So I know I'm in a good position. Then all we're doing is we're going to tack the very top as close as we can get it to that edge without going over. Because if it goes over, we have a peely window, and we don't want a peely window. Then I use something like a tri-edge. We're using we got the Tint Whiz edition ones. I really like those ones, but we can use yellows or pinks or blues or yellows, whatever colors you like. I like the softer ones, which are the yellows. Sorry, I keep saying yellow, which are the blues and the pinks. That's why I have so many of them. I like these ones the best. So tack your corners up. Check them. Sometimes you won't get that corner quite perfect, so there'll be like a little air pocket or something in there. It's just kind of at a funny angle or whatever. Just make sure you get all the air out of that corner, because when you roll it up, then you'll have a really hard to reach spot, and you don't really want to roll your window back down to fix it. You can, but you don't really want to. So once it's tacked in place, and I know it's tacked in place because I'm trying to wiggle the film and it won't move on me, then you roll it up. And then from here, this part, it's its own tricky thing to learn. But if you can get to this part with a pretty clean installation, the rest of this will just stay cleaner because there's less that can happen here. You know, everything's kind of like tucked out of the way and squeegeed. Nothing's really getting back into my film without trying to crunch it into the side so much, if that makes sense. So we're going to pull down this, or pull this seal back. And same thing here. I want this edge to lay flat when I'm trying to tuck it into the window. It's easier said than done, but that's like the main goal. So get a little corner in, let that edge lay flat, as flat as you can, just kind of like sweep it in. Tighter seals are always harder to do this, but that's your main goal. So what I'm hoping here is that this isn't too tight for me. It's usually not, but that the front edge totally fine. As I was cleaning this out, this area right here is a little bit snug. So I got this big air pocket. Get all that to lay down because you're fighting against it. It's a seal, so it kind of seals in all the air, right? Get as much as you can to lay against the glass. Squeegee. And then back to what I consider the most stressful part of this whole one right now. Because right in here, it's pretty tight. So I'm going to try and get this in one sweep. Sometimes this will pick a spot and decide it wants to stick. So I just want to make sure it doesn't pick any points and it all lays down flat. Good. Always freaks me out. If this edge kind of looks like a bubble, freaks me out. So many times I've just, and then it'll pick one little spot and it'll fold on itself. What's the pink tool? It's a Tri-Edge X. It's like their staple product. So Tri-Edge is a company that puts out a lot of like these and like and some other unique tools for window tinting. Their cards are the material. It's the best. It's the best. They're smooth. You got to change them out every once in a while, or they'll start to scratch. So just get a handful of them and get some different colors so you can play around with yourself. Play around with, oh God. You can play around with the different ones and figure out kind of what material you like the best. So the pink ones are the softest, blue, medium, yellow, harder, orange is the hardest. So generally go for like the softer ones, but the yellow ones are still really, really good. Look at that. We have one very nicely tinted window. Now let's go do that 3 more times, and then extra windows. Oh, what the heck? Hang on, Canon. It was all going so well, and then it froze. All right, 2 seconds. GoPro, cam link, deactivate, activate. Cam link, deactivate, activate. Okay, that's not good. I'm sorry, that has not happened. That's really not good. I know I froze, but thank you. Thank you. It should be as simple as deactivate and then activate. And then fit the screen. No. Oh, this is really not good. Sorry, this is gonna stay black for just a second, but you'll be able to hear me. Properties. Cam link 4K. I feel like I have to get rid of it. Yes, we want to remove it. Okay, we're gonna add it back. Video capture device. That's really weird. Wow, that's not good. Oh shit. I don't even know if I'm still live. Oh, okay. Wow, my whole OBS froze for a second there. Sean, thank you.
Sean Gavin super chatted $5. Here's $5 for technical support.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do now. I guess the only thing I can do is like reset this. It's so goofy. That's not good. It's not good at all. Because it says, I don't think this is going to fix it. Dang, everything was going so well too. Best I can do is restart it. It's a cam link though. That's not great. Unplug it and plug it back in maybe. Not confidence inspiring. Okay, if we can get it to pop up something, then we'll be okay. When it's completely black, I don't know. Hey! Okay, that's good. All right, we're fixed now. I unplugged it and plugged it back in because that's how you fix all computer things, right? A window tinter told me when you tint windows, you should apply the film about an inch below the top of the window, which is an industry standard. There are no industry standards. Everybody's on a different page. It's safe. The farther down you can go, the safer you are. Rule of thumb there. If you get your film to lay flat, though, you should be fine. They don't install Sirius XM stickers below the seals, and those never peel. So you want it to be because it's less obstructions and less chance that there's going to be an issue. So tuck it below the seal, but you don't necessarily have to go an inch down. Hey! I don't know. Cam link, that's like $130 thingy. Well, I guess if it wasn't an inch, it was like a quarter of an inch or something. Well, there's a big difference. No, it's cool. Yeah, you want to go below the top seal, although even that, I laugh a little bit because I wouldn't say that's even any type of an industry standard because there's people that are installing plotter patterns that are just slightly above the seal. But it's, you want to go a little bit below. It's just less obstruction. What's the darkest you will go on a windshield? 35. I don't want to go darker than 35. Okay, now, remember all those nice things? Like, everything was going great, and now I'm totally thrown off my game, and we're just going to make a total disaster of the rest of this. No, I'm kidding, hopefully. I just have to make sure I know where things are now. But, yep, there it goes. There goes the job. Oh, no. No, we'll be all right. We'll be fine. I ain't worried, are you guys? $5%? Yikes. No. There's people that will. They don't care. Cash under the table, and then they'll just do whatever shade. Like, this is this business is like, it's professional, unprofessional. There's just like mechanic shops and stuff like that. You can go to like really nice, fancy places, or you can go to whatever place, and then they're just like, there's people that don't care. I think it's kind of dangerous to put 5% on your front windshield and drive around with it. So I don't feel comfortable installing it. So there's like grades to it. Just like you can, I don't know, just anything. There's too much excess. So some people will, some people won't. And I've had a handful of people that come in for a job, and then I won't tint their windshield dark enough. And then some of them are okay with that. And then some of them are just like, oh, okay, well, I won't get my car done then. And it's like, okay, I'm sorry. Huh? I have other people to tint cars for, so do whatever you feel comfortable with. What do you recommend getting started on my first car? What do you recommend for getting started? Oh, a couple of things. Tint Depot. Tint Depot has a starter kit and entry-level film. Woo! Super! And then also Sun Distributing.
Daniel Rayner super chatted $9.99.
Daniel Rayner.
Takuya Grandmaster of Tint and Plotter Tint Technician.
Thank you for the 10. I appreciate that. Plotter Tint Technician. We're broadening out our skill set. But what I was saying for both those sites, I drop links in the description for you. Sun Distributing has kind of like a build your own kit type of thing. And then both those links go to pages with what I recommend and what you see me use a lot of time on stream. I already bought everything, but, well, that's a whole different question then, isn't it? Just get started. Just do it. Watch the videos, spray a window, throw some film on it, try and cut it out, and like just get going. There isn't anything more that I can tell you that's going to be helpful other than like you just have to start learning this yourself. Like don't over plan it too much, just like get your feet wet with it, and then you'll start knowing what questions that you need. It's just like put the soap in the bottle, put some water in it, spray the window, put it on there, and start cutting it out and see how it goes. That in and of itself will be like a big thing. Tinting experience is like a guy exercising. Yeah, very much so. You just gotta start doing it. And then this is why I recommend to when you're starting with tinting, it's gonna be crazy. Like it's just gonna it might be way different than what it seems like. But just stick with it. You'll figure it out. And then what I was saying is, get your feet wet with it, and then think about maybe taking a class later on too if you need to, but definitely just like see how you like it. It seems one way, and then you try it, and you're just like, wait, what? Did you plotter that? No. How do you know which side to cut on? So there's a clear side, and then there's the tint side. So you know because you can either peel a corner. Actually, that's what I do. Just peel a corner. You're gonna have the clear liner side always facing you. Tint side against the glass when you're cutting, because the glue side is facing you. So when I put the film on the glass, clear side's facing me, tint side on the glass. That means the glue, it's like a big sticker, right? So I'm cutting it on this side so that when you peel it, it'll stick to the inside of the glass. All you're doing is shaping a big sticker material. That's it. It's just a big sticker. It's a pretty cool sticker, but it's a big sticker. We're just professional sticker applicators. That's all we are. Your top edge is crispy. Thank you. I try. I should have had these taped already, too, on this side. Not doing it right now. I should do the back window, and then I should do the quarters, but because now I'm having to tape them now. Should be able to get quarter windows out of that back glass, but we'll see. I struggle reading the film when shrinking a back window. Any tips? No, you're looking at it the right way. It's patterns. It's just you're learning how to identify patterns. That's exactly what it is. It's like somebody a while back told me, they're like, if I could just give you a book and you could learn how to read the film. And it's like you're just getting it to look a certain way, and then you know where to press it down. And the more you do it, the better you're going to get. I think one of the coolest things, though, it's so nice. Like, set a stopwatch and try to beat yourself. So there was a tint class that I helped teach, and it was their idea to do this. It was so cool. It was like for a roll of film, winner of, like, it was a backlash shrinking competition. One person on this side, one person on this side, and they did brackets. They just tried to race each other. And whoever was the fastest won the roll of film at the end. They did, like, bracket style. And it was so cool because it's like, I watched these guys try and baby and, like, just slowly get their way through shrinking a back window. But then when you put them on a head-to-head competition, it's like they wanted to win that film. And it was just so cool to see them push themselves and all of a sudden move much faster than they were at any other point in the class. So if you can set up a stopwatch for yourself and just commit to, like, I don't care if I destroy this film or not. Just go through the entire thing as fast as you can. Still try and do a good job, but just move fast. Don't try and baby it. You'll start getting the hang of it, I think, much quicker. But you have to kind of commit to sacrificing some film to do that. Like, we often don't want to destroy film, but there's going to be a cost with learning, and so you have, like, that's why I suggest buying a less expensive film in the beginning, and just commit to, like, lighting that money on fire, at least some of it, because when you push yourself, when you get faster and you start ruining film, the time and experience that you gain from ruining it is just worth way more than scrapping the film. The real asset in this is your time. The film, yeah, it's not fun to ruin ceramic and stuff like that, but, you know, you can push yourself. That's where it really adds up. Do you teach? I've taught some classes, but I don't have an official class. I think I've been saying that for a while, or for like probably the past year now. I thought about removing the tint on my car and retinting it. You could start with one window and see how that goes. That way you're less committed. It's not as much of a time sink or whatever. Just you'll learn a lot from just doing the one, and you're like, wow, I never want to do that again. You'll know real quick, and you only did one window. Is it old, purple, and flaky or still in one piece? That's a good question, too. Old, purple, and flaky, just go buy a new car. No, thanks, I'm good. I had to remove that for somebody recently, and I was not having a fun time with it. Old, purple, flaky tint is like the worst. That's why cheap tint jobs annoy me. It's like people, I understand wanting to save money, but it costs you so much more money in the future. You get a cheap job, it fails in 2 years, and then you're sitting there removing sticky polyester off of glass, and it's just a nightmare. It's so much time and effort, and it costs you like twice the amount of just getting a good tint job in the first place. Still in one piece, got it done 4 years ago, and I bought all the stuff. Even though I'm sticking to it, I'm extremely committed to learning and making business of it. That's awesome. It'll definitely have its challenges. Mine still does. I haven't figured everything out. But I've been around the business for a long time, so I've seen what a lot of shops do. What was that? The person who did my tint was in industry for like 35, used Suntech, and he only charged me $120. Wow, he does not know how to sell himself. That's crazy. Why would you do that? I do like front doors for 100. My carbon's 130. I don't the full car for 120. Good Lord. How do you even afford to do? See, this is where it's like, I mean, it's not always BS. It really isn't. There are people that will install halfway decent films or good films and just completely undersell themselves. Usually in like the southern states where you see that a lot more, there's a lot more price competition. But even then, it makes me a little sad because doing jobs for 120 bucks, there's just, he was old and retired. Oh, okay. He was just doing, oh, okay. Well, that's way different. I take everything back that I said. But it's not unheard of at all. There's so many places that just sell themselves so short. So if he's just doing it for fun, then yeah, that's way different. There are people that will actually do that with a decent quality film, and then they'll just like, they're forced to do car after car after car after car just to make a halfway decent living. It's just, ugh, sucks. Reminds me of a guy that a friend of mine I talked to would tell me about, and he's just like, yep, I've been tinting for like a tenth of the time he has. We work at the same place, and I make more money than he does, and he knows that, and he still keeps doing what he's doing, and it's like, what the hell? Crazy. But if you're doing it like friends, family, old, retired, you just do it because you like to do it, and then yeah, it's a different story. All right. Well, we managed to get one side of the car done, and it's looking pretty good. So we got the back glass, we got this side, and then we'll have the full, windshield strip. A full windshield strip. I know what I'm going to do though. You mentioned economy film to burn money, but I'm basically think I'm going to charge 100 to 140 while I'm learning. With a nicer film, it's kind of like burning money. I can respect it. I think you're gonna learn far more off of just jumping into the weeds and working on people's cars, because that's what you're gonna do. There'll be like, there's this trade-off here. If you just work on your own car or a couple of friends' cars, you're only gonna learn so much because like those are both you and like your people. But when you start charging outside of there and tinting for other people, it's different. The one little problem about low price practice work is like sometimes you're like, those are your clients. So just you want to try and work yourself out of that. And at the end of the day, if whatever work you put out is good quality work and you used a good film, then there's no reason you have to charge less for it. So I guess it all depends on how you're presenting it. I mean, if the people know up front, like kind of like a haircutting place, if you like preface it with, hey, I'm new, that's why I'm doing it this way right now. I mean, you'll find people that'll probably be like, yeah, sure, whatever, he's not charging me much. Said he was going to do a good job, okay. I think that's in your better interest. But you put me on carpet shield, and I'm never going back. You want to do me a favor and find something better? Carpet shield is like, I figured it was a good option because it's made to stick on like fabrics, and door panels aren't like, not a lot of stuff sticks to a door panel, so it like had a good chance. But it doesn't stick to every door panel. Maybe about like 50% of them pretty reliably. But putting tape on it, sticking it up here, this has been pretty helpful. I want a better solution than this. But so far that's all people keep using. But you could, in the background, keep looking for something that's better. I'd appreciate it. This seal is much like the other side. And like this whole thing, this is, I don't want to say like not Mercedes-like, but it's a little bit less Mercedes-like to be that tight, I guess, against the window. So similar story with this one. We're going to be crossing our fingers just a little bit. We'll get it, but hopefully we get it on the first try rather than like the fifth. We're going to get some tint jackets / hoodies. TintWiz. Go to tintwiz.com. And then they have a lot of full print hoodies that you can buy in their store. They help support a lot of people in the tinting industry. And they actually have my hoodie up there too as well. I forget that's there. But they did a sick full print thing. Also tintlife.com, tint and then LYFE. That is like the Window Tint graphic designer. Her like clothing brand for Tinters is on there too as well. She has a ton of cool designs. She did my logo. She's done a ton of other work for so many companies in the industry. She's got a really cool spin, like that Detroit Tint Studio logo up there, and what you see on the icon, channel icon. She did that. Oh, I love it. So those are places where you can get some stuff. So keep the edge flat against the glass. And then I use a little bit more soapy water just because I want this stuff to slide nice and easy. Some people will bump their film into the sides. I just like it to just coast. I don't want to have to fight with it. It's nice and easy going. So if we can get that much, then I'm a happy camper. Squeegie! My text-to-speech just pronounced that squeaky. Do you have a cleaning squeaky? I like it. I don't. It's old habits, really. It's not a bad thing. It's not 100% necessary, though. So if you, like I use the hybrid for pretty much everything. So I'll clean it. I'll like clean the glass ahead of time, then or not ahead of time, but like clay bar, razor, like you saw all that. Clean it, squeegee it off with this guy right here, and then I'll use the same squeegee to install the film. That's always worked really well for me, but if you can keep them separate, then sure, go for it. I have a habit of misplacing things really often. So I never learned how to do it. I never like taught, better thing is I never taught myself to keep separate squeegees in the beginning. So I just have habits of picking up the same squeegee, not thinking about it, or I'll put a squeegee down and then I'll go grab another one. Have you ever tinted a Miata? Yeah, but it's been a long time. I haven't had one in quite a while. Oh no, what the heck are you? Oh, that's sad. I don't even know when that happened. That, my friends, is like installation error, but it's in a really bad place. This is going really well too. I don't know if this is when, this could have been from the brand new roll, and I just didn't cut off the beginning. I remember I didn't. But there's like this little, like a zipper. So you can roll film like a tube, but then see that if you create a point, like a compound curve there, it kind of like zipped into the film a little bit. Just small, but it's unforgivable. It's not good. So I gotta redo this window before I go any further on that. That pattern's done. There's no way to save it. Should have cut off the beginning. Do I have a short roll? Not that. I do have it somewhere. I have a 24-inch roll. See what I say about misplacing things? I keep these around here. There we go. So we're doing Pro Classic 20. That's going to be this guy right here. Short roll, so I don't have to use a long roll to fix that mistake. How old is the purple colored tint? Sometimes it can be a year old. Sometimes it could be 7 years old. That would suck to leave right by a mirror and a driver's door there. It's like you're always staring at it while you're driving. It would just look like crap. If I have you tint my car, would you be willing to come in person and give me pointers? No. No, I'd do a class out of here if anything. I don't do mobile anymore. It's too much of a pain in the ass. I just don't like it. Oh, is that to somebody else? Guys having side conversations. I hear the wrong parts. But yeah, I don't do mobile work. I used to. I've done it for enough time. I can't stream. I hear everything, but I don't always hear everything. Does that make sense? So I know their conversation's going. I talk a lot, and then yeah. Just guys, keep that in mind. I definitely don't mind, like, chat's gonna be chat. But just keep a little bit of that in mind. So yeah, let's cut this top edge on the other side. Look at that. Let's see. I want to do mobile and tint on my garage. Nice. Like, mobile and tint out of your garage. Like, tinting out of your garage, I wouldn't consider mobile. But if you're going to places, yeah, that's mobile. Could you come out to California and I'll let you stay at my Airbnb and serve you food? No, it's too much work. Traveling right now with we have a oh god, he's turning 1 year. It's already been almost a year. He's turning a year in November. Traveling with the little one is just not much of an option right now. It's a lot. You can drive across the country though and get it tinted here. All right, so we have to reshrink this one. This is all fresh pattern here because we screwed up the other one somehow, or it was screwed up when we didn't catch it. I don't know. I'm betting by the it was a brand new roll. There was a section of it. I always will cut off the very beginning of the roll of film, but I forgot to. So that side's great. This side had a little ripple. Little zipper. So we're just gonna fix this one right up, and then hopefully we'll get back to where we were. So like with mistakes, it's all about just like you just lost that material, you lost your time, and you're not super happy about it. So the biggest priority is to get back to where you were as quick as you could, still within quality. So like that's where a plotter that does good patterns is definitely can be a huge advantage there. Because sometimes to just go click a button and recut it, it saves time. But if the pattern didn't line up, then you wasted time. So when you're learning how to tint, if you have a plotter, it'll save you actually quite a bit of time in the beginning, because what'll take me, you know, a couple of minutes to cut back out, when you're starting, it could take you 20 minutes plus to cut out one window. All right, here we go. Attempt number 2. Very comforting to see a Jedi tinter have to redo shit. Dude, it sucks when it happens, but it happens to me fairly regular on certain things. Streams have been pretty good, but like some things are just like, ugh. But to show it, it was a little personal hurdle that was really tough to get over, because like, you know, I don't want to make mistakes on stream, but everybody makes mistakes off stream, so hey. Would you participate in the Squid Games? If there wasn't as harsh of a penalty. We watched it though. It was good. I think everybody watched that one. It's not, you don't have very many shows like that anymore that just like catch fire like that. I think the last one was like Tiger King. Everybody was talking about that show, and now same thing with like Squid Games. All right, so no more zipper right here, which is good news. Now we're back to kind of where we were before. It was supposed to be super chat, but I can't purchase them on my phone. Aw. Well, I appreciate it anyways. I try to answer what I can regardless. Super chat or not. It's all good. What's crazy is, like, when I first got into streaming, like, I'd see that. I'd see super chats and all. And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to happen. not at window tinting. And then I was like, if it did, it's probably people that want questions answered. Because it's a very, like, it's just like if somebody's going to literally, like, I'm just talking to people. So if somebody wants an actual answer, it's like, and I'm having trouble getting back to people just from amount of chatters, then they pay to have a question answered. But more people are just, like, really appreciative, and that means a lot. Thank you, guys. No, corner. Aha! Oh, this one went well. Yay. This one didn't give us as much of a hang-up feeling as the other side did, so that was cool. Red light. Good show. It was funny. Oh, I need to start at the top. That's why. There we go. Easy money. Yeah. The recurring easy money. No. Yes and no. Everything's easy money. Everything's easy money to Tint Pro. What's up, man? Are you live streaming on your channel yet? Do you get that enabled? If you guys want to see opposite of what I do in, like, removing everything, Tint Pro's channel, he removes a lot of stuff. But that's what he does. He's familiar with it. He knows how to do it right. So if you're more comfortable with doing that, his channel would be hugely helpful. There's just a little... There we go. Better. I'm going to. Nice. Good. Glad to hear it. I just got this. I need to make the picket fence here. There, the picket fence. I have a very small finger right there, and I'm just gonna let, like I talked about earlier, I'm just gonna let that dry out. So I'm not sitting there with a heat gun trying to get it to press down. I'm in Barcelona right now. Oh, that sounds like a nice vacation. I'm in dreary, wet Michigan right now. Once I'm back in the States, I will. Nice. Very cool. There's been a lot more people that have been taking it on. It's been cool. It's been cool to see. Thanks for the vids. Oh, you're welcome. Number of cars tinted in one day, personal record. I don't know. Let me think. Nothing, there's no like specific day that comes to mind, but it'd be in the range of like, maybe like six or seven full cars, but like there's so many different variables there. Like, and when I say full cars, I mean no windshields. There's more that you can do with extra help, and then if you have a plotter and you like on a day like that, you're just not caring as much. It's just about just getting work done. So those things come into play. I wouldn't have been incredibly proud of everything that I did that day, because I don't like tinting like that. But when I was doing mobile tinting, it really was like putting out enough cars with good work. The picture. Oh, we forgot to change the picture. Shoot. That's a big oopsie. My bad. They are black cars, though. I can update that. That is something I forget. Thank you. Oh, it's like a regular day for some people. Look, that's like, what? An 8-hour day, or I've had days longer than that. It's got to be different. But here's the thing. When I was really pushing myself, I'd average about, like, hand cutting, start to finish, no windshield. I could do like an hour. So, hour, if it was like that, and you were just like stacked up. But I tell you, I was bitching the whole time if that's the case. There's no way I ever like tinting like that. But there's some guys that hang out in my Facebook group too. They'll tint a car inside of like 30 minutes. That's just what they do. They learn different. They just, and it's done. So like when I say an hour, they're like, wow, I could have had like a smoke break and lunch in that time. The hell took you so long? So I was pretty quick, and quality was good. I don't like. I always felt some level of burnout when I tint like that. I just never liked it. It made good money. And then whenever you had like to redo something, that was an extra super big annoyance, because it was just like, you know, it's a numbers game. There's going to be somebody that comes back with a problem. Which makes me wonder if it comes out good. Yeah, that's definitely like the other side of it. I think some of these guys can do pretty extraordinary things, still put out good enough work. It's not the norm. I wouldn't ever expect to be like that, but you never really know what you're capable of until you really push. Hey!
Shades Auto Tint super chatted $5. Super off topic, but I am shopping for a steamer. What do you recommend getting?
Do you recommend? Thank you. Thank you for that super. Where's our... Oh, yeah, it's doing the little thingy right there. Thank you so much for the super chat. I gotta grab another shank here. The Shades. Shades Auto Tint with the 5. I'm shopping for a steamer. What do you recommend? I don't know if I'll show it to you in just a sec. Let me get this tucked in. That is the big Jiffy, and I didn't want to buy that thing. And I just like somehow ended up with one. Because I did buy it. But like, so I was shopping around, and I bought a $50 shark steamer from Walmart. They no longer sell it. There was like this, I don't know, quick steam or something. I bought that one, and I liked that one, and I bought another one for like at home. And so I had one at the shop, we had one at home, and then I came in and I had to do a removal on a windshield. I go to fire that thing up, and it just didn't turn on. Well, now I don't have time to go get one, and that's a big problem. So all of a sudden, steamers, which I don't have to rely on a steamer very often at all. It's like once in a while I fire up a steamer and have to remove a windshield or a back window or whatever. So I don't even need to use them that often. But when I need them to work, I need them to work. So Jiffy is like the biggest, most popular steamer brand, and they've always been reliable. There's a small one, and then there's a bigger one. On Amazon, like, this was like a month ago, the smaller one was like $220, $230, and the bigger one was like $270. And I was just like, screw it, I'll get the bigger one. So that's this guy right here. It doesn't warm up fast, but it's got a preheat setting, and it's got an on setting, and then it'll just put out a nice consistent steam for a while. I added this hose off of my cheap steamer. So I really like the setup now because I can leave this like hanging up here. I can literally reach from one side to the other without having to move this thing around. So with the exception of this extension, this was a pretty good choice here. But you can see, like, I got that hose to go over here, and it's clamped down, so this isn't going anywhere. But none of the steamers have hoses like this. They're so annoying. It's got, like, they have a version that comes with a big, bulky metal handle, and I hate it. I've always hated that handle. So I didn't want to buy it. I didn't want to buy it with the big metal handle and then have to like chop it off or something. So they have a version that comes with like plastic one that comes with a they have one with a plastic handle and one with the metal. I got the plastic one. I used that steamer and it crapped out of me after the second use. Shut up. Did it really? Oh, dang. Because I had the same steamer. We had it at my dad's shop, and we got tons of use out of it. So I sure hope that it doesn't. But it does have a warranty attached to it as well. So, dude, I hope it works. It can still push out enough steam with that long hose. I can't tell a difference. It still works. You can actually just turn it on like that, and steam will find its way out the end. It'll work. So this is what I mean by if the seal holds water, so we're basically just keeping it propped away. So we're gonna shrink that little finger out. It's just gonna have to, all the water has to dry out before it stays down. So we'll get to that in a little bit here. Just let it warm up, do its thing while you're working on the rest of the car. That way you're not wasting a bunch of time. Where can I get the machine that lights up and shoots fog? A fog machine? You can find those all over the place. That one was the ADJ, I forgot the model number, but it's a vertical fog machine that you can flip upside down. So you're looking for like a geyser fog machine by like ADJ. I don't know. They were like $300 a piece, something like that. I thought I was just gonna get a couple of cheap ones, but the more I looked into it, then we got those. And I think that was just enough. All right, let's tape the other side. We're going to do that quarter window, then we're going to do the back glass. It's part of a good tint job. You want fog machines for a good tint job. Do 5 on my windshield? No. Oh, you limo people. 5, 555. Even that's not dark enough. What the heck? Do you ever narc on customer? No, what the heck? That sounds like a terrible business. And see, the thing is, there's, like, it can absolutely be legal. The only question is whether or not they have a doctor's note, and I'm not required to check. So similar to like auto parts sold, you know, you go in a freaking AutoZone, and then they have what, underbody kits and all this other crap that you can put on your car. That's all like, this is how you install it. This is what it's made for, but it might not be legal in your state. It's like, oh, come on. Same thing with tint. Same thing with tint. But I'm in a unique state because it's just, it can be legal. So it's different for everybody. And then there's also like social norms. If a customer asks for 5 on their windshield, would say no? Yes, I would say no. I get asked for 20, and I say no. Because it's just, I don't feel comfortable installing film that dark. I don't cash under the table or whatever. It's like, I mean, it's whatever you want to do with your business. I just don't feel comfortable putting that on the road. Not unless it was like special circumstance show car, but you're not going to come in here with a Malibu and want 5 or something and convince me that it's a show car. I mean, as a business, you're allowed to say no, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a really interesting topic. Like, it's your business. You can run it how you want. There's certain things that are kind of expected from like any business. So it's like the more complicated you make it, the harder it is to get that across. But I mean, you can run your business however you want. You can tell people no. You can refuse to do work. It's just some people also don't really know what they want when they come in to get their cars done either. So it's like they might come up and say like, hey, I want to do like 20% on the windshield because they're doing 20% on the rest of the vehicle, but they just have no idea, right? And then you show them an example in person, they're like, oh yeah, I don't want to go that dark. So a lot of things. Can you be held liable for somebody if they get in an accident? I'm sure, yeah, you can get sued for it. But you can get sued for anything. Certain states have different restrictions, so this is one of those things where you guys have to like do your own little research wherever you live, figure out what the repercussions are. Some states have stickers, like Texas. They have stickers that you have to put in every window or in the driver's window, showing where it came from. So there's just certain state laws that are more strict about what you can and can't do. And then Michigan's in this weird little place where laws were made quite a long time ago, never updated. And so they have whatever, top 4 inches on the front doors, dark as you want on the back, and that's just the way that they're written. And then you can legally have it with a doctor's note. So that's why I say I wouldn't just do something completely stupid that would be more likely to, jeopardize your entire business and stuff. Also, you have like, small reputation to maintain too. So some people are just like, whatever, I don't care, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. That's their business. But I don't know. I just not that. Some people put dog shit film on windows and then they fail in a year and still have a business. Will you be dressing up as Black Magic for Halloween? Black Magic ceramic, no less. I love how the conversation was one way, and then somebody was just like, yo, are you going to be like Black Magic for Halloween? Thank you. No, I'm actually going to be a pirate. Arizona. What is the laws for Arizona? 32 on the front. And on the front and anything on the back, but a lot of people do 5%, including their windshield. Yeah, so there's like social norms. It's just, there's technically against the law things, and then are they going to be enforced or not? So they're not enforced until all of a sudden they are, but I don't know. Sometimes it's just that's how people want to do it. It's up to them. I would probably lose customers there, but that's just, I don't know. I also think it's demographics that you're tinting for as well. So, for example, if you're getting ceramic on a really nice car, I've had more people go with a much lighter shade, where somebody who's got a pretty beat up car just wants to black it out. So there's so many variables there that can impact what your normal clientele even want. Like this one. This we're doing 20%. We looked at the 5, we looked at the 35. 20% is the sweet spot, which in where I tint in my state, for most people, 20% is what a lot of people really like. I think it's a great shade. I like it a lot too. So I only could get my back window done with 5%, but it came out with some flaws. Why just the back window? Can't even see through it. 5, you still can. More so during the daytime, though. If you have a nice 5%, it's really not hard at all. We're going to be doing a 5% strip on this, but that's very normal. Now, when you're talking about nighttime driving, rainy conditions, with interior lights, 5%, it's a little bit harder to see out of. I would say it's not super easy to see out of at all, but people's eyes are different. Some people are more skilled drivers than others. I tried tinting last night for the first time. It turned out horrible. Well, I'm glad you tried. We all went through it. Your top 5 dream cars? Oh, I'm not as big of a car guy that way. I can appreciate nice cars, and I like doing a good job on the windows. But I don't know. I really don't know what I would get next. Well, actually, we might get a minivan next, but it's it's more by necessity than anything. Wasn't enthused about it, but hey, it should be all right. Should be pretty cool. Actually, might next week. I don't know. We'll see. I can tell you, they are not in stock basically anywhere. 2010 BMW 3 Series, followed up by a 2014 Dodge Dart. All right. The 3 Series is more similar to like a Mercedes. Wider side seals, like wider molding, like plastic moldings around the door frames. The side seals aren't necessarily very tight, but there's just kind of like more framing in the way. Everything else is pretty straightforward. Dodge Dart, the front doors have a lot of like same thing, like a lot of plastic and seal kind of in the way of tucking your sides in. And then on the front doors especially, the paneling kind of like lifts up more and gets in your way. They're a little bit annoying to do. I just, in those cases, I'd cut your sides a little bit tighter. So you're not tucking too much material into your sides, because it's just hard enough to kind of get it where it is. Cool. So we got quarters, doors. We're moving to the back glass. We have a little bit of extra touch-up to do. Most of the back is already prepared. We just have to kind of throw a towel back here and grab some stuff. What do we need? We're going to use same things. You guys see me pick these up all the time. Tail fin, bulldozer, and then a side swipe. You don't need basically anything other than that for squeegeeing. And then we'll use a clay bar. And then let me grab that towel too. It's this guy right here. How many years of tinting before arthritis sets in? I didn't even want to think about it. Especially hand cutting. Yeah, it's different for everybody, but it definitely could happen. I mean, in that case, if you tell me, hey man, I have arthritis, I love a plotter, dude, more power to you. That's just going to make your life easier. Putting out good work there, yeah, I mean, you still can. You can still put out good work. I don't just always harp on them and stuff like that. But, you know what I mean? Like, you have to in that case. Good question, though. I don't even want to think about it. It's like hurting your back. I mean, I was doing windshields, and then I like pulled my back somehow, and then it was just windshields. Everything else was totally fine. The way that I climb in, tint a back window, no strain on my back whatsoever, and then like trying to lean up with doing a windshield, not fun. Longer than being a mechanic. True. Definitely longer than being a mechanic. Because, like, yeah, there's different levels to this. I'd say we're in terms of, like, just auto skills. I mean, tinters are generally pretty spoiled. I mean, we're using clean things. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a very tedious skill. But it's also, like, you know, you just lift up a HUD and your hands are dirty. Window tinting, it's like, you can stay pretty clean. You're working with soapy water, and like, yeah, it's not as grueling, especially when you set up a nice place for it. You can have air conditioning. Still work, but gets you on your feet. You move around a lot. You're not sitting at a desk, so that's kind of nice too. But you know, as a live streamer too, I'm definitely jealous of the people that can sit at a desk and just like hang out with their audience all day, because I gotta actually like go work. So annoying. I'm like, I want to sit at my desk, but then I lose all my viewers. Dodge Challenger back window peanuts. Oh, dude, did you not catch all the videos? All right, I'm gonna save you right now. So on a Challenger back window, Challenger, Charger, and recent Mustangs, there are thicker defroster lines. I've said this many times. Cut out your pattern, clean the inside of the back window, or sorry, cut out your pattern, shrink your film, get it ready to install, and then when you go to clean the inside of the glass, like I'm doing now, turn on the defrosters. They heat up inside of 30 seconds to a minute, and then apply your film to the glass while the defrosters are hot, and just squeegee it all evenly out on the sides. It'll fix most of that, if not all of it. Little extra things that do help. Clay bar. Some people like to sand them, but turn on the defrosters is the #1 thing before you go to install them that will fix your back window problems. I had the same ones. They sucked. I was told that. Not a problem anymore. Don't do it afterwards, though. If you have film on the glass and then you turn on the defrosters, you'll often make it worse. All right, so we got a big old piece here. Here we go. I caught it with my mouth right now. So I shift it around on my arms, and then I catch it on my arms, or with my mouth a little bit. Then you can walk it back up your arms, pull it, kind of maneuver it where you need it to be, get as low as you can on the glass. That's what I heard, but I wanted to be sure. Yes, do that. Do that. There's still like a pretty mixed bag of responses in my group. There's so many people that are like steel wool and sandpaper. I don't really like the idea of either one of those options, but they are working for people. So if you need to do something more, then I'd resort to that. But just keep that in mind that steel wool, I've always had steel wool bits end up in my film. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've done it though. And then sandpaper, I'm mostly talking out of my butt because I don't like the idea of taking sandpaper to somebody's windows. I mean, sometimes it's hard enough to say that razor blades don't scratch them, but hey, you know, pick and choose your battles. When you hit over 45, you get more than arthritis, even if you're not a tinter. We're all young and dumb. No, I'm kind of like in between. I'm on my way. Not in my 20s, not in my 40s. So there's still enough, like, this, folks, pay attention, this is where you're gonna be. These are good things to bring up, though, because, I mean, what really is hard to figure out is the getting past being a single tint person and scaling. You'll be a one-man show, and then, you know, there's no way around it. Eventually, if you want to keep it as a business, you got to have other people do the work for you, and some level. I mean, I guess you don't absolutely have to, but you know what I mean? So there can be problems down the road. Oh, thank God. Sorry, I just like wanted to throw up in my mouth for a second because I was like 90% sure I like creased the film, but I did, for the life of me, didn't feel anything. Yay! Okay, good. Sweet, we're fine. Anyways, yeah, it's one of those skills. It's like when you do it on your own, you can make really good money doing it, and you can kind of do it however you want. But then eventually, you're gonna have to, like, if you're not tinting, you're not making money. That's a problem. You gotta figure out something to do that makes money when you're not doing the thing, or else you'll always be kind of bound to it in a way that's scary because health problems, or you just want to go do something else.
I'm not sure about that.
Shut up, Siri. You'll definitely need to figure something out. Can I use a torch instead of a heat gun? Yeah, for sure. Torches are good fun. They're just different. So I don't use a torch mostly because I haven't felt I don't know. I just don't really feel like always using one. And like with the people watching, I would never suggest starting with a torch. It's one of those things that when you see it, you're kind of like for the first time, you're like, whoa. So especially customers seeing you use a torch near their vehicle can be a little apprehensive, but it will be much faster than using a heat gun. But you just got to embrace that part about it. You can absolutely use them. They're great. They're really effective. They're just kind of like, wow. A little extreme. Definitely don't recommend starting with one because you're just kind of like, you know, if you have problems shrinking windows now, use a torch, you'll have extra problems. You go through a little bit more film, but, I mean, hey, you'll get it eventually. Whew. My. That looks good. That looks really, really good. So we had this little, like, interesting dip here with the, what do you say, just the cutout. Mercedes does this interesting cutout sometimes where they start it here, and whoop, for the, like, the brake light. Are you an LLC? I am. I just went with the herd on that one. Lots of people are LLCs. Lots of people recommended it. Okay, we'll be an LLC. Really easy to become one, though. You just gotta pay some monies. Fill out some paperwork. Have a company that actually does it on the regular. Do it for you if you don't want to try and learn everything and figure out how to do it right. Still waiting on GlassAid's trademark. Hopefully we get that. That'd be nice. LLC is the best option if you don't go with it. There's something wrong with you. I didn't. That one, there's like, I don't think I've heard anybody say anything different. So in that case, it's like one of the few things that most people can agree on. What size roll do you use for the back window? 36. 36 or 40s. But 40s, sorry, there's 36 rolls, 36-inch rolls and 40-inch rolls. Those are going to be the most common. 36 are going to cover 99% of your back windows. So that's generally what I use. But in my carbon, I'll carry like 40-inch rolls. So it just depends on the film that I'm using. An LLC allows you to remove the liability from yourself, put it on your company so you don't lose everything over somebody being dumb. Yes. So you have your business that you worked really hard for, and then you have all your personal stuff. So if you run into a big legal nightmare, they'll come after the company stuff, and you'll still be able to live. They won't come for like your own house and stuff unless that's also registered under your business somehow. But I am not a legal professional, so somebody asked, would you suggest getting an LLC before having much work or wait to become busier? If you're making money doing tint work and you have a little extra cash, just do it. It's one of those things where, like, you know, you start opening up a business bank account, you start doing this, you start doing that, they'll ask for all of that. So it's in your best interest, business-wise, to just do it. But if you don't have to yet, I mean, just don't kill yourself over it, but definitely keep it in mind that you're going to do it. So if you got some extra money, just start doing it now. Or sooner than later, because it will take some time to process. So if you needed it for like oh, I got to go open a business account tomorrow, you're not going to be able to do it. Not without an EIN. Do you still recommend using baby shampoo? Yep. Baby shampoo is great. I use baby shampoo and I use Dawn together, actually. They make one very nice tint job. I use about 1/4 Dawn and 3/4 baby shampoo. It's like the weirdest combo, but it works really well. Something about the same amount of Dawn or the same amount of baby shampoo just doesn't quite work with the films that I'm using. Not as well. So mixing them together, it just, go figure. So we gotta still do a windshield strip on this. I reminded myself. Oh, I should have updated the thumbnail. I still can. Dang. I took a picture. I sent the thumbnail to the customer. And then I forgot to put it on the video. Dang. See, that's one of the things. Like, YouTube's a little bit more maintenance. There's always like 16 little things to do to go live. Baby shampoo won't be very good with GeoShield. I haven't found it to be. Some people were telling me Joy, specifically non-ultra Joy. It says non-ultra on the bottle. I have to try it. They said that is a really good option too as well. We tried regular Joy. Didn't have a lot of luck with regular Joy, because I guess we can't have too much happiness in our shop. But Can you make a video on how you make that mix? Yeah, I need to. I just haven't. It's one of like, I try and get my spray tank set up ahead of time. So I need to do it. I just haven't. So you'll see so many other little things. The spray tank is just one of those really time-consuming things at the beginning that I want to make sure is like ready to go ahead of time, because I got to empty it out. I got to basically swish some water around. I got to add soap, water, put it on an air compressor, let it sit for a little bit. So it's something that I kind of do in the background while I'm getting everything else set up, but I'll keep it in mind. We'll do something about it. I can show you on a cup, though. Oh, where's that cup? I don't know if I can find it. I've got too much square footage to misplace things. Do you recommend using GeoShield in California? Oh, yeah, dude, you use this stuff everywhere. I mean, I would never, ever, ever recommend a film that I only thought would be okay in Michigan, and we still get plenty of UV here. We don't get quite as much heat, so like the back of vehicles down south are going to get much more humidity, just like frying windows. But this is a solid film that you can use absolutely anywhere. I mean, if I thought there was any chance of this failing down south, I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't carry it in my own business. People get their cars tinted and move out of state. Can you show the solution in a spray bottle? It's easier if I show you an actual measuring cup, so I can probably go grab one, but in a little bit. We gotta do a windshield strip first. It's definitely a popular question, one that I should have a video on. God. Canon. After you post a video to YouTube, can you unload an edited version without having to delete the whole post? If you post a video to YouTube, can you unload an edited version? I'm trying to understand what you're saying. I kind of get it. One sec. Let me... Whoa. That's different. Oh, what? Bitcoin at 61. Oh, I don't invest in Bitcoin. But that's cool. Are cryptos coming back up? Time to open my shop. YouTube's kind of funny. You can download... I'm going to have to start this all over again. I think the battery died on my headset. We're going to shut this down. We're going to restart it, because if you go out of order with this, it always likes to be stupid. Wow, that's 2 for 2 today. After you post a video to YouTube, can you upload an edited version without having to delete the whole post? Not right off of YouTube. You'd have to download your footage, edit, and then re-upload a separate video. You can edit the existing video a little bit, like you can cut parts out, but that's a different thing. Yeah, so what I do is there's a little software. Yeah, this has battery. Sorry, this is just being dumb. I have a software, Vidly, VID.ly. It's a free tool. You can download your YouTube videos. So if you streamed and you didn't record them, you can download basically a non-compressed version, or just whatever the original upload file is, and then you can edit and then re-upload it. My sound is really low. You just have to fiddle with your sound settings then. There's a lot with streaming audio, but you have ways to control them in your streaming software. You have little mixes and stuff. All right, let's see. What is this? Oh, no. Watch. Oh, it's so sluggish. Even when you do everything right. Tinting and crypto, I love it. You're on top of the world when it's going well. And then when it bombs, it's like, I don't want to talk about it. Where's GME at right now? I've been sitting in it since beginning of this year. I haven't touched it. Let me check while this is starting up. Yeah, 182. It's been floating around that for quite a long time now. But when it takes off, okay, plug that in. 1080p. 1080p. Ooh. We might be doing a thing. What the heck? Oh. Okay, we figured it out. This is beyond weird today. I don't think I've ever had this many problems. I don't think I've ever had this many problems just trying to get this thing to work. There we go. Okay. All right, we're back. I think the battery died. And then when the battery dies, you got to go back through all the little hoops again. All right, we got to do a windshield strip. So what time is it? It's 1. Streaming is fun. All the settings are good for one day. The next day, everything goes crazy. Yep. For no good reason. Like, you can have everything completely ironed out and then just try and do things exactly the way you did them before. And even then, there's just always going to be hiccups, especially when you're doing complicated stuff. Especially when you have, like, 16 different systems. Like, programs and whatever else all, like, have to work together to make it one fun thing. It's not the most elegant solution, but it's the only one that would work. Only streamers understand. That's true. Everybody else is like, it's not that bad. It's just like video, but live. No, okay. And then they do it, and they're like, oh. It's like not tinting and then learning how to tint. It's like, oh, okay, I get it now. You got stuck in the back of the cop car trying to remove the bars. Oh, no, the door's shut on you, and then you couldn't get out? Are you trying to ask us for help right now? Are you stuck there right now? Here's a roll. See, normally we just don't have a windshield strip and we just end the stream. But we would have, except our camera messed up and we have to do this. Imagine the people that do Facebook Live. Yeah. Yeah, it's been funny. Sun Distributing got into streaming. I mean, there's a bunch of other people that are getting into streaming now. And it's like, oh, I tint windows. I could do that. And you can. Like, it's like learning how to tint. Kind of. It's like, I don't know what to describe it against, but it's only a matter of time. If you just stick with it, like, you can figure out all the little things that you have to do. There's just a lot of things to learn. You have to learn about audio. You have to learn about video. You have to learn about OBS. You have to learn about sources. You have to learn about scene switching. You have to learn about how to make all that shit work together. And then if you want to add on top of that, that's even more work. But in the end, you can have a pretty cool thing. So, that's cool. I like it. I have fun. What's crazy is like, I didn't have much reference. Like, so there were a lot of videos about streaming and OBS and whatnot. Nobody had the wireless part figured out. Not in any videos that I could find, and there's no products that could do it either. So my little contribution was doing this. I mean, you can take a GoPro if you just want to start streaming. You can just get a GoPro, and then you can just tell it to stream to YouTube, and that's fine. Or you can tell it to stream to restream and stream multiple places. That's also fine. That's not hard to do. But if you want to get it to work with like OBS and like have text to speech so I can actually hear you guys and continue to work, it's a whole nother layer. My biggest thing was trying to figure out how to get it to work with OBS so I could keep working. And then turn it into more of like a traditional live stream than just like me staring at a computer screen and like looking back and forth all day. I wanted to make it seamless. Just got 8 boxes delivered from Tint Depot, and the boxes were nearly destroyed. If there's any film that's been damaged, they'll replace it, just like any other good film company would. Let them know. That's a FedEx problem, probably. Not a Tint Depot problem. There's no way Tint Depot would send out bad rolls like that.
Washington
It's
Correa
100%
super chatted
shipping
$2.
issues.
Did you use LegalZoom to file for your LLC?
Washington with the 2, thank you. Did you use LegalZoom to file for your LLC? I did. They made it really easy. I think in total it was like, how much was it? 4, 5, 6, something like that? Under 1,000. And then they try and sell you a bunch of packages along with it. And I don't remember what I said yes to and what I didn't. But in the end, it was just kind of like, yeah, that seems good. And I have an LLC, so yay. Where do we want to go with this? I think something like this is pretty nice. A little bit below. It'll blend in really nice. We'll do it all one big piece. And should be good. Feel like we just moved it though. Oh, I need more blade. So if we go back this far, it's about the same. Here, about there, here, about there. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. My squeegee. I seem to have lost my squeegee. Where did I put it? No glass aid for cutting the brow? It's on there. It's just covered by 5. Some people say you can see it when they do it in their own shops. They're like, yeah, I can see it under 5. I'm like, really? I can't. Not super easily. So I always take a light with like 20 and 5 just to be more sure. But I shine it on the outside. So there's that part. Client comes back because his office in a mirror. Oh, no, we'll be good. I'll kind of like guesstimate it on the outside. I'll get it pretty close. And then there'll be a little bit of wiggle room when I have it on the inside. So it'll be doubly sure when we go to put it in. It's usually a little bit more on top so you can shift it. What? Is there a service you recommend for review bombing the competition? Good Lord, don't do that. If your business relies on trying to put the other business down, you don't have a good business. Don't worry about them. Worry about yourself. Improve what you're doing. Worry about your own business, and it'll take care of itself. Only look at them to see what you could do better. Competition. Competition breeds excellence. What's that? That's the saying? It's a good one. Review bombing the competition. I hope that was a joke. I mean, the work speaks for itself a lot of the time. If you put out good work, there's no amount of trashing the other company that's going to do anything. It's just, yeah, don't. What do we need? The towel? Where do we put the towel? This is where I lose stuff. Currently removing old purple tint off an 06 Mustang. It sucks big time. He's using Stripper 2 right now. Easy Stripper 2. You know, I got, what's it called? It was off of a recommendation in one of the Facebook groups. It's facing the other way. Shiners Upholstery Cleaner. It actually smells a lot like ATR. Which is kind of funny to me. So, like, there's similar ingredients there between an upholstery cleaner, an ATR, and Awesome. So it's like, they're all kind of the same thing, with some tweaks. Wow. Let your work speak for itself. What if the customers don't talk? That is true. It's only a matter of time. Customers have friends and family. Not everybody, but it's one of those things. Hey, I got my windows tinted. It looks pretty good. Some people like to brag about it. Some people show family, and then that kind of inspires extra family to, like, then go to you, because it's like, oh, hey, I like that. Yeah, you had a good experience, so I don't want to risk having a bad experience, so I'll just wait till you figure it out, and then I'll go there, right? Or it wasn't really on their mind, and then they put it in their mind. So referrals are hugely important. So doing good work gets you good referrals. Doing bad work gets you bad referrals. Gets you no referrals. Gets people to avoid you. I haven't done this in a minute. I usually can separate. Ew, that's no good. This is making sure. We just used a light scrub pad on this. There's like a light scratch in his windshield here. We'll still put a strip over it, but just keep that thing on note. That'll unfortunately stand out. It's just on the vehicle. It's not something that you'd really know ahead of time it was there. You find out along the way, but yep, that's gonna stay. Take a picture or a live stream. Wow. Aha! we got it. So when you have a when you have a connected windshield strip, which I mean most of them used to be, now you have so many cameras and stuff in the way. They put these gigantic cutouts. But when it's thinner at the bottom, you got to make sure both your sides are lined up nice and exactly where you need them to be, or else you're going to have like a ripple in the middle, and then you can't fix it. So this thing has to kind of be exactly right when you go to squeegee it, because you're not really going to be able to shift it around. But it looked better just a little bit below, so that's why we kind of did it this way instead of shifting it up a little bit and seaming it. At least that's how I feel about it. So I think that's a good place. Something that's like, because this mirror actually sits up a little higher, and that's nice. So then we don't have to try and like line something up super low. Let me grab, what do we have? I know I had a panel stick or something. I forgot. I like to use something that's like long enough that I can measure with, but I had a tape measure. I don't know where the tape measure is, but as long as we're the basically the same size, we'll be good. I guess we'll just use the stick part of the light. That'll be fine. Just wanted something that was kind of like, ugh. I have an F250 coming in with the old windshield, the old mirror style. I guess we're slightly off. Tape measure. Yeah, tape measure would be great. I just forgot where it is. It's around here somewhere. I couldn't find it the other day though. So yeah, with the F250s, just cut a slit like you said. I wouldn't try and take those off. I have tried, and I've never broken one, but I've never gotten one to come off without actually feeling like I'm going to destroy it. So keep that in mind. It's not, I hate doing it, but I mean, if either you're going to potentially ruin the full windshield by cracking it, trying to remove that, or you just have a seam. And if you can, just explain that ahead of time, for most people, it's totally fine. They get it. They're like, either I crack your windshield, or you have a little seam here. And they're like, oh, okay. Or you just don't do it, right? The other thing is like, I'd rather not have it. I guess I'll just not do it. Okay, that's fine too. All right. Yay, this little guy. Have you thought about starting an employee of the month wall of the shop? And that wasn't Nick. Oh, okay. Yeah, I have one other guy that helps with scheduling, and that's it. It's literally like me and one other guy that doesn't usually ever come in here. He's got a big boy job doing remote work from home, and so he helps with scheduling and whatever other digital stuff. Not all of it, but some extra digital stuff. Mostly scheduling. So it's either going to be him or it's going to be me. And I either sound pretty narcissistic, I guess, if I put myself up there. And it's Nick. Congrats. You're Employee of the Month again. Six is the legal limit. In Michigan, it's 4. It's super dumb. It's like very, very little. This little seam here, or not seam. It's like sliding and not sliding, so I'm just trying to make sure that it's gonna stay down where it needs to. We don't have any problems with it. It looks good. That's exactly what we wanted it to do. SpongeBob meme. Employee of the Month 454 times in a row. Yep, it'd be exactly like that. That's great. 2 years later. That was like one of my favorite ones that I would see pop up, but it got so overdone. 4 hours later. All right. So all that's left now is some brief little touch-up, some glass cleaner, probably a little heat gun, put the headrest back, and then it should be all good to go. So, thanks for hanging out. Most of the fun is already over. But if you want to stay through to the end, I appreciate it very much. Where is the end of the thing? There it is. Always a little bit of touch up on the sides. But don't get carried away with the heat. Just keep it gradual. How do you go about tinting a back window with a spoiler? I don't like to remove them. I will... I can't tell you any of them that I've had to remove. The only one that is kind of an absolute nightmare is going to be that one right there, and I bought the glass for it. That's a Civic hatch. But as far as the other ones go, I'll still like butt the film up against it and like just basically make a relief cut. You could also take a scrap liner and cut everything out, mark it, and then cut it on a glass board. If you don't have a glass board, that's definitely a little bit harder though. So I've got, it's hard to just describe. So I've got live streams with like Focus hatchbacks, other hatchbacks. So look up those and just skip to the back windows and see, you'll see exactly what I do. But yeah, I don't like taking them apart at all. Sometimes you gotta like you gotta take apart like sometimes all the paneling and stuff just to get the spoiler off. No, thank you. Anything to avoid doing all that. But you know, makes cutting and shrinking a little bit more challenging. Do you use regular laundry soap for your towels? Yeah, I've just been using like Tide or whatever. I don't use dryer sheets in the dryer for them though. There's a big difference between, like it's recommended to not. Like just when you're drying your towels, low heat, air dry for the microfiber ones, because the dryer sheets coat the fibers of the towels, and they make them not work very well. And you can just tell right off the bat if you use them or you wash them with just like laundry soap and then put them in the dryer and with like a dryer sheet and then put some in there without a dryer sheet, big difference. So it'll keep them nicer for much longer. I learned that one from the rag company. They have a YouTube channel and they sell lots of rags for detailing and stuff. I use the Costco ones right now. Those are the yellow ones, but same thing. Or they're not the same like quality product, but same care instructions. All right. So on the windshield strip, we did it in 5. That's because it's really like I've done 20% strips. It doesn't really do much for like that extreme sun that's coming in. So you want a windshield strip for that high sun when it's coming in to your car that exact angle. 5% is really the only thing that would like cut down enough glare. 20%, it just doesn't do much. Or it didn't do it'll do good things on like your side windows and everything, but it's you know, it's like flipping down your sun visor. Much better on the windshield. Yay! Ooh, this looks good. I can't wait till we get all this closed. We're gonna pop this open. We're gonna put these. We're gonna put the headrest back in. Clean off this back window. Da-da-da-da-da. When I grow up, I want to be like Matt. I'll put a bunch of weird stuff on my head. Talk to the internet people. Just finished removing all the glue on the old rear Mustang. Nice. I've been watching your videos for a long time. I'd like to ask you, please make a solution for installing film on the camera or tell me what to use and what quantity. Please make a solution for installing the film on the camera. What? Can you reword that? I don't understand it at all. Thank you for watching, though. Please make a solution for... Oh, I hate doing this. You like pull the thing, and then you accidentally like bump it closed, and you have to like go back and then get it installed. Good God, these are tall. Mercedes quality. Guess I can't be mad. Ooh, we're gonna. How to make the slip solution? Oh, yeah, that's been asked. Too many people overthink it. But that means there needs to be a video. Oh, I can explain how to figure out a good amount. The thing is, there is no exact good amount. It all depends on what films you're using, the temperature that day, and what you're comfortable with using. And there isn't anything in there that's ever going to be completely consistent. So from one car to the next, everything's going to slide a little bit different. Some are going to stick a little bit more. Some are going to be a little bit looser. Some are not going to want to move hardly at all. Some are going to be hydrophobic. So like on all that, there's going to be like different levels of like how much soap you would want to use, but you never know until you're there, right? Did we stay? Ah, dang it. My bad. I think this was on. Where's the thing? We gotta put it on a trickle charger. It'll be fine. Where's the... What? There it is. They put it way under. So a smart thing, which I'm sorry, I wasn't a smart cookie on this one. For some reason I thought it was off. It wasn't. Where's the thing? Oh, it's that. Ooh, it's actually got a lift for itself. S-Class. Make this easy for me, will ya? Nice, nice. We have a solution for this because when you're getting into colder weather and you have to leave a car on for a little while, every once in a while you'll drain the battery to a point where it can't start the car. So it is helpful to leave it on a charger while you're tinting it. I think we're probably going to have to do that more, so I apologize for this, but no harm. Be totally fine. We're going to put it on a charger. Right now, we have a jump starter. Look at that, we planned for this stuff. Imagine that. So we'll leave it on 40 amps for a little bit. We'll just kind of let it slowly charge for a little bit, and then we'll come back to it. Give it some minutes. Canon. Canon. There we go. Haven't seen it in a while. Oh, yeah. Explorer's been gone. We sold it when people were getting money for vehicles. Back in my day, we just used spit. I used a translator. Sorry if it sounds stupid. Oh, no problem. Thank you for clarifying that. Somebody said making a solution for installing the film. Okay, slip solution. That makes more sense. One sec. Let me go grab something. Hang on. All right. This isn't going to be an exact how-to. This is going to be for the people that have been asking very nicely today on slip solution. So whatever tank size, spray bottle, all of it's going to differ. I'll just show you exactly what I do. So I actually bought this to show you guys. I've had this for a little while. And I've shown it like one time, and I forgot to. So there are ounces, milliliters, and cups for all you guys, so you guys can see exactly how much I use. So I use this guy right here. This is a tint keg. Don't fall, please. Let's not start ruining things now. So this is a tint keg. This is 3 gallons. I fill it up to about here with water. So it's really about 2.5 gallons and leave the last half gallon for air. So keep that in mind. This is specifically for filling up one of these. I use about a little over an ounce per gallon. The rule of thumb is an ounce per gallon. So this is Dawn Ultra. This is Johnson & Johnson Calming Baby Shampoo. It's calming so you won't get frustrated. So when I'm filling this up, I just kind of know, I just kind of know what I'm looking for, but if I had to put it into measurement, it looks something like this. So put about, they say about an ounce per gallon, but I found I generally put about 3 ounces of baby shampoo, maybe just slightly more, and then a good squirt of Dawn, which bumps it up to near 4 ounces. So that much soap, and that's kind of about what it looks like. You could do maybe a little bit more Dawn and maybe a little bit more baby shampoo, but that's pretty much what I do in my tank. And then what's cool is if you get like a little small measuring cup, you could exactly measure exactly, you could measure exactly how much you want and then just drop this whole thing in there and mix it up. So you always know exactly what you're putting in your tank. Canon. But yeah, that whole mix, that would go in there. So they say about 1 ounce per gallon. Really, I use like 1.5 ounces to 1.75 ounces, almost 2. I use a fair amount of soap. So it's been helpful. All right, Canon. GoPro. All right, we're gonna put this. We're gonna jumpstart this, get it going. Yay! See what I mean? No problem. We just had it a little bit under. That was a fun little spark there. Shut that off. Make sure it's off. Then we can shut this. There we go. Canon. Wait. GoPro. Yeah, I just wanted to. We're started. Everything's good. No harm, no foul. Just if you leave a car on while you're tinting it, it will put a drain on the battery because it's in an ignition or accessory mode. So, especially when things get colder out, if you leave it on for an extended period of time, sometimes it's good to have a trickle charger or something on it. Definitely keep a jump box handy. Happens all the time in the auto world. But we're all good. GoPro. Canon. You're like a chemist. Jaybird's hanging out in the chat. Big shout out to him. He was the one that kept chiming in about using Dawn and baby shampoo mixed together. So he's a big reason why we even do that at all. But yeah, with that, with like the clear and then like the blue, it looks kind of cool, but yeah. You should leave the battery dead in case the customer doesn't pay, then good God. I'm at Home Depot. What's the tape you use? Use Tyvek. The Home Depot doesn't have Lowe's tape, and they don't have Tuck tape, but they have Tyvek house wrap tape. Get that one. I haven't used it, but house wrap tape is what you're looking for. You're in the wrong one though if you want Lowe's tape. How would you do to make a film? Not mark when you fold it on the edges? I try to, but it makes creases. You're always going to kind of get them a little bit. Depends on how tight the windows are. The more you practice, the less apparent they're going to get. But just heat them up, push them out. You're still live. We're coming to a close here. So we need to shout out some super chats. Car is done. It looks good. We did a nice walk around. Very happy with the work, and I hope they are as well. That is always the question after that. I gotta give them a call though. Let them know that that it's done. Would packing tape work? It does work. It actually works better than painter's tape. It just doesn't stick quite as nice. So what you see is it'll stick to some things, and then some things it'll just like fall off. And different packing tapes are just I can't recommend one. Some of the cheap ones were really good, and some of the other more expensive ones, I don't know. It's just some are good, some aren't. But tuck tape, house wrap tape, been very consistent. It's worth the extra money. So big shout outs to Washington, Shades Auto Tint, Daniel, Sean, Jose, Pablo, JMFPV. Thank you guys for all the support today. I really, really appreciate it. Hope you guys learned something. We will be back tomorrow with another full live stream. I don't know if it's in the morning or afternoon, so notifications, stay subscribed, all the good stuff. Does your wife steal the baby shampoo bottles for the baby? We actually use a different one entirely. Why is the video a 22 Civic Sport? Because I forgot to update it. Took it from the last stream. I'll update it after we're done. They're both black. Hey. But thanks for the reminder. I totally forgot. Packing tape leaves residue. Got white spots on a BMW. Ooh, that's no good. I only used it for a short while. I didn't have that problem with it yet, but not surprising. So, yeah, I could rant on a lot about tape, but, I mean, I'd still... There's nothing made for it. Just the adhesive that house wrap tape has is really good, and it peels off clean for the amount of time that you have it on the vehicle. So I wouldn't leave it on there for hours and hours at a time. We tape it, we install it, then we remove it. So we don't really, we don't leave it baking in the sun. We don't do any of that. It's very quick use. So these are all things that we're kind of coming up with as we go. Recommendations from other people. That's how this whole industry really got its start. We use dryer sheets. We use baby shampoo. There's some things that are made for tinning, and some things that just they aren't there yet. It's a niche industry. It's a decent-sized niche industry, but I'm slowly getting killed here. So I'm gonna hop off stream. I will catch you guys probably tomorrow. Thank you all for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. You all have a good one. Make some money, tint some windows. Have a good one. Bye-bye.